Afternoon. Here I am, Pava's Pearls. I am going to go social media, podcast. Even though this is a new situation for me, I felt that maybe there's something I could share of benefit for everyone. So now, today, since it's Halloween, what better day to start Pava's Pearl or anything new than on something fun when you're really not yourself? I'm not dressed up as I normally would be today, but that's the fun of it, isn't it? So since Tim's gone and everybody's been watching Elevate with Body, maybe you'll sneak over and take a look at Pava's Pearls today and in the following weeks to come. The topic today that I'm bringing up is one that I think we all think about, we all know about, and what we do when it's fun to be someone else. We dress up, we go to a masquerade party, we go trick-or-treating, we have fun with the kids, and that's just a facade. It's something that we do, and maybe it's part of us, but not really us. Who are we really? What do we really say? And what do we really do when it comes down to what's really important, especially when no one's looking at us or no one is there to see what's happening? Do we have the internal moral values? Do we have the stability of our convictions to stand behind what we believe and know when no one else is around, when we can sneak around thinking, oh, no one's really going to know that I'm doing that? That eats away at us. It really isn't who we are. And then we go back to work or go back to our family and pretend to be somebody else. Is that us or is it not? For me, I've tried not to have it be me. I'm honest, maybe once in a while, we all think about that. My faith, my belief says, no, somebody's always watching me. God's always there on my shoulder going, you really shouldn't be doing that. And that's what I've lived by, and that's what we want to do, is reminding me of what I believe and what I practice and why I work where I do. I'm at Northern. I owned my own company before. I've worked for other companies. I've left those because they don't follow those practices and those beliefs, and I want to portray that. So that's what I'd like to talk a little bit today about is honesty, integrity, professionalism, all of these key words that let us know who we are internally, but also let others know who we are so that hopefully you can put a dot of a memory in someone's mind, or maybe a little bigger. My grandparents, especially my grandmother and my parents, taught me that my word was my bond. You didn't need a contract. You didn't need to write it on paper. You didn't need to record it. Go post it on social media. What you said was who you are, what you meant, what you intended to do. Shook a hand, that's what you did. That's what I live by. And it's a little odd now that I'm, well, how many years into this? I think you could do the math. But since I'm a senior citizen, so some people say, don't think I believe that, but I am. So to me, my word has always been my bond. What is yours? It brings to mind something that just happened just in the past couple of days. And that's an experience I had with a local company. I won't say who they are because at this moment, I want to give them a chance to reply. But they offer discounts. They advertise it on the radio. They advertise it in their print media. They say, veterans, here's a discount for you. And I love veterans. I married one. My family's all involved. My son served. So I'm really big into veterans, and I love people who give the discounts. So this company said, hey, we'll give you a discount if you use us. So we didn't know about it, but went ahead and used the company per their reputation. My husband called them. We needed, our garage door fixed. So he said, just go ahead and do it. We trust you. And so they showed up. They did the work. Sent us an invoice. And then my husband went, oh, on the radio, did you hear they give a discount? I said, yeah, I was going to ask you about that. And then he said, well, I'm going to call them because they didn't say anything. So he calls them and they say, nope, you didn't say anything. You don't get the discount. He goes, what do you mean? I have to be the one to say the discount? And they said, yes, sir, you do. He got a little intense. And he said, that doesn't seem fair or honest. And he said, why can't you just do it? And she said, well, I'm new here. Let me check. She checked and said, by the way, yes, we will do it. We will go back and adjust your invoice. He goes, okay, great. So he thinks it's all fine. Then what ends up happening? This morning, he gets a phone call and an email. Nope, too bad, so sad. You are not going to get a discount because you didn't tell us up front. You weren't there to meet the gentleman and you didn't put it in your email. So unless you tell us, we're not giving you what we advertise. Is that integrity? Is that standing behind what you're portraying? Or is that a bait and switch that you have to know what you're doing? Gladly, you don't have to do that here. here we stand behind what we say. But it's a sad fact that too many people feel that same way. It's all about what they want, what they need, what the business is going to benefit from. And I guess they don't really care whether we say anything or not. My husband said he was going to say it on social media, but that'll be the day. And I started laughing when he said that it was really going to be on social media. But he said, "Oh, my wife will be calling you." Yep, that would be me taking up the gauntlet for someone else because that's what I do. I try to help people whether or not there's a financial gain in it, because in the end, what's right is always right. But let's not dwell on the negative. I know there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of people that do these things. But you know what? There's an awful lot that don't. I've met so many people over my lifetime and my career that do follow the concept of values, of morals, of paying it forward, of doing what's right, of contributing. So many different words and nouns and actual verbs and action words that rally around those less fortunate, that share their wealth, share their time, share even not their wealth. Some people share things that they don't have. The woman with the 2 coins that gave all she had instead of the rich man who didn't give anything. I think we all know that story. No matter what your faith is, the true gain is helping someone. The true gain is knowing that you're giving and you're helping them, but you're also learning and feeling the joy in working with someone, working together to lift each other up and not just stomp on them. So you, like my last Pravis Pearl said, you're an influencer. Yeah, I guess my family's always said I'm an influencer even before they really were a thing, and that you could go out there and, what do you influence somebody do exercises, pour water over your head? I guess those are fun for a moment, but wouldn't you rather be an influencer with a smile, something kind? Remember, a memory that you could share or share your food, something along those lines that would always create a memory or a positive growth or some other future pay it forward in someone less fortunate. You don't always know that that person's going to be in that position. I've been on my last dime with 4 kids and not knowing where my next paycheck was going to come from, but I was always provided for. We always had a roof and we always had food because we always lived by that motto, even when it seemed desperate. But it's such a joy in your life to know that you can be surrounded by people who will help you, people who will give you information. I am surrounded by people every day here at work, at home, at church, in your neighborhoods. You're surrounded by people who want to help you. And we all have these stories. And if you have any, comment, make a post, let me know them. I'd love to share them and tell other people about your positive experiences. Maybe a couple negative ones, but only if they turned into a positive light. I'm sure my experience with my husband, it'll end up positive, or you'll know about it. So have a great day. Post down the comments. Let me know what you'd like to hear about, and maybe we'll talk about it. Since this is the Halloween version of my first podcast, it may not post on Halloween, but that's okay. I'm usually a little bit late sometimes, according to my family. So I brought extra candy. And so you can have it all. I don't like chocolate, so I give it out anyway. And have fun because every day is a memory.